Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from Pea's World.
My ex broke up because he refused to go to therapy, and I just ran into him at the pet store, and he had a new girlfriend, and he seems to be doing well. It kind of tripped me out a little bit because he asked me to go for coffee, and I'm like, you have a whole new girlfriend. If we go out for coffee, it's going to end in destruction. But for some reason, I ended up saying yes. So we went out for coffee, and it didn't end how I thought it would end. I thought that I was going to be the mature one, the one with like the self-respect and everything. No, bitch. We started talking, and he sounds so mature, and like he sounds like he's really changed, and he was talking to me about his girl, how much he loves his girl, and basically telling me all the shit that he couldn't do for me that he was doing for her. Communication skills were up there. The respect was up there. So much so that I got close to him in attempts to like him to kiss me, and he didn't, bitch. Like, he didn't even try to. We literally went for coffee, had a conversation. He righted his wrongs. He apologized for some shit. I apologized for some shit. And then we went on with our days.
My man.
Have you ever heard somebody say that crazy people don't know that they're crazy?
Yeah.
It's so true, bro. It's so true. Answer be slapping y'all right upside the head. If everybody had to go in for an eval of true narcissism, or just like to see the level of narcissistic you are, bro, in 2026, the women would be off the chart. I guarantee it. And I'm telling you, it's all because of social media and mental illness. Because how can you talk us through that whole situation? Everybody watching the video knows that it was you. Everybody watching the video knows that it was you that was the bad person in the conversation, in the relationship, I mean. Except for you. Everybody knows it was you except for you. You just told everybody it was you, and you still the only person that don't know it was you. Your brain, and this happens so much, you see this online. Like, remember back...
We call it cognitive dissonance, or I might be saying it wrong.
Back in the day, when the argument, this is probably 3 years ago on TikTok, the argument was, oh, men need to pay for dates and do this and that and the third. Okay, cool, we get it. Oh, men need to pay all the bills. Whoa, oh, 50-50 warriors are gross. Now the new shit is a man paying all the bills is the bare minimum because he was gonna be paying them bills anyway. Oh my God. There's this dissatisfaction.
Yep.
That a lot of women on social media have. And all they can see is me, I, me. Even when Mona was joking in the video I made earlier this week, where she was like, I like a man who don't even have bad days. I'm the only one who can have a bad day. Fix my day. You can't have a bad day because then my day can't be bad. This shit is sick.
A lot of that is internal, right? A lot of these women online, a lot of these feminists are genuinely unhappy in real life. So they project negativity. Also, this is social media. This story could have literally not happened. She could just be lying. She could just be telling a story for views. People do all the time. The fact that you kind of went in for a kiss or wanted to kiss him, even though he has a new girlfriend, says a lot. But also, we see this in relationships, we see this in work, we see this in like a lot of different forms in life, right? Sometimes it takes getting dumped or it takes getting fired to level up. And it's the unfortunate truth when it comes to life. She dumped you, all of us.
Trust me, guys. I was not as successful as I am now when I was married. I was living paycheck to paycheck, doing normal, regular stuff. Now I'm actually quite more successful, but it was probably thanks to the divorce and being able to focus, put my head down and ignore the world and just do me.
Sudden, you got this like burst to like improve, right? You broke up with her, all of a sudden she hit the gym, she losing all this weight. You see her 2 years later, she's in the best shape of her life. You're thinking like, damn, why couldn't they do that when they were with me? But sometimes it takes a certain event to, escalate. It's unfortunate, but it's how it goes.
This whole video of the woman telling women to marry the nerd after she done got cracked years ago and all this other stuff. The thing that's pissing me off is the outrage from men. Me personally, if I'm married and shit like that, I wouldn't be bringing up anything from my past. But the only thing that's really pissing me off is the outrage that's coming from men. Because one of the things I want for men to admit, and I want for men to realize, that they do the same exact shit. I'm tired of men pretending like they don't run the streets throughout their 20s and 30s. They don't want to settle down in their 40s looking for a virgin with no kids. One of the things I want for men to do is stop acting like they don't leave the 6, go with the 10. Let the 10 spend up all their money. Let the 10 use them.
You think men can just get 10s? Just that statement alone, you're dumb.
They realize she's out of his league. He can't keep up with her lifestyle. So then he look back on the 6 and try to wife her and try to work something out with her. I know this far too well because I was the dumbass that men used to run back to after they make dumbass mistakes with women. If it wasn't for my dad or my brother or me simply having a backbone, I probably would have been in some deep shit when it came down to men. I was a virgin. Men couldn't accept the fact that I was waiting until marriage. They went off crack Keisha from down the street, became a baby daddy, somehow wanted me to come back and marry me and play fucking stepmama, and we supposed to be some type of fucking family. I want for men to realize, admit that they
just telling on themselves. Just the men that you seem to go for are the Ray Pookie types that just go after Keshas and get them married and just get them pregnant. Just maybe go after solid men.
pick terrible women as well. Y'all pick terrible women all the fucking time. There's more women than men on this earth. I don't even understand why the fuck men are even struggling to date. You wanna know why y'all struggling to date? You're going after bitches that don't like you. You're going after bitches that aren't good for you. I want the finest bitch that's outside shaking her ass. For some reason, y'all try to turn her into a housewife and accept the fact that she's a hoe. I'll overlook women's behavior so fucking much because they're beautiful. Like, women that you are looking for, oh, it's hard to find good women. It's hard to find women that build. It's hard to find women that's trying to go 50-50. They're right in front of you. They're just overweight and you don't want nothing to do with them.
Exactly.
So that's what I want men to do. Like, every time a woman gets on this app and she says some outlandish shit like that, I want for men to start pretending like they don't do the same shit. I don't even understand what's all this backlash coming from men from. I'll do the same exact thing. Hell, even right now, I know a lot of you niggas who are married. You hate your wife, you resent your wife because she don't look like the woman that you wanted. She don't look like your dream woman. You settled. You settled for her because that's what you could get. Settled for her.
Again, pure projection. Most men like how their wives look. Like, they don't really strive too hard to beat her looks. You know, obviously the men of means, the Chad Rones of the world, sure, but most men love their wives, even if their wives got fat.
Because you realize that was in your league. I know plenty of niggas who have settled for women who they don't want, or who for women who they're not attracted to. I know this far too well. Like, Ian, stop pretending like y'all don't do the same thing. Y'all do the same exact thing.
I've never seen a video where nothing you said was the correct way to generalize. Like, you generalize wrong, like, every single time. It's quite impressive. Firstly, how can you settle if that's your league? If that's your league, how are you settling? That makes absolutely no sense. Then you start talking about men running the streets. Most men don't have the capability.
She talked about he got a 6, then jumped to a 10, and then came back to it. Yeah, men don't have that ability.
The ability all the time to be running the streets. Who are these men that you're talking about? Who are these men that you're talking about? Running the streets. Then you talk about kids. Most men don't have kids. Most men don't have kids. You're talking about a very specific demographic of man. You should just address this to the Pookies, because that's who you're really talking about. Address it to the Pookies, and it wouldn't have been a problem. But yeah, most men aren't running around sleeping with a bunch of people. Most men don't have kids, so that doesn't make sense. And most men aren't settling because men are dating women who are on their level. That's kind of what you're supposed to do. It's kind of how it works.
Calling yourself a young hoe. Don't be getting mad when a man calls you outside your name. You're degrading yourself. If you're a girl, yeah, and you're bouncing your years for the whole of TikTok to see.
This is the same rhetoric used for victim blaming, and this is how men showed their misogyny in a warped sense of morality. There's always going to be a man sat on his high horse talking down to women based on patriarchal ideals of what a good woman should be.
You call yourself young hoe.
The biggest issue here is actually you, because you're sexualizing these women. Men see breasts and they don't know what to do with it. Breasts, by the way, because that's what they're called. Even your inability to say the actual term being breasts demonstrates your only understanding of a woman's anatomy is a sexualized one. You're literally exposing yourself because the rhetoric you're trying to spin is that a woman is sexualizing herself on the internet and that devalues her, as opposed to you seeing young ladies having fun. When these women come on the internet to bounce their chest, it's not for you. It's not for you to sexualize, but that's the only way that...
Really? Women bouncing chests is not to sexualize themselves. Stop lying to yourselves, ladies. You guys just look so dumb and uneducated.
You see
Of course. Of course, you know, when the women post first traps, that's not for us. They're bouncing their ass, they're shaking us. That's not for us. Of course not. Girls just want to have fun. Oh my God, of course, of course.
Because your mind is warped and you cannot fathom that a woman exists outside of being sexualized. Every single woman on the internet is not for you to gain sexual pleasure from. You see breasts and you think, oh, sex. This is just another part of a woman's body.
What happened to women calling themselves like queens, like goddesses? Like
when we were calling ourselves queens and goddesses, you lot were laughing at us then too. And in trying to empower ourselves with those terminologies, some of you were even trying to snap.
Yeah, we did laugh at you, I admit that. But those were still better terminologies than calling yourselves young hoes.
From us and telling us, no, you're not. A woman is always going to be policed by a man no matter what she does. And now women are waking up and realizing that they don't want anything to do with you men. So if it's a hoe that a man doesn't like, it's a hoe that a woman is gonna be.
it's just sad to see.
Why are you so grieved? Why are you so upset? It's so funny to watch men get upset when women start to move away from their ideals. It's so good to watch how men react when women no longer answer to them.
Men were laughing at women calling themselves queens. In which context? Put up the videos, put up the stitches. That's something that I'd have to see, okay? Him being upset, I agree. I don't know why he's upset. It is what it is. Here's the thing though.
People can be upset because they see their own people and the people that they kind of love do bad things. I can be upset at that.
I remember doing this at a young age, right? And I remember this. This is why I think Drake is the GOAT, almost, right? Michael Jackson, Drake, my mind. I remember being 16 years old. Take Care just came out. Everyone loved Drake. Drake. I thought I was different. I was like, man, everyone loved Drake, man. I ain't fucking with Drake. I don't want to hear that shit, man. I'm just hearing headlines over and over again. Oh, everybody's loving Drake. Man, get Drake out of my head. I remember doing this at a young age, thinking that I was different. I remember being 16 years old, Take Care just came out. Everybody was loving Drake. I'm like, man, get this shit out, man. Drake. Everybody just loving on Drake. I'm like, man, I don't want to be like everyone else. I don't like Drake. In reality, you're not being that unique when you do that. Yin yang. So you thinking that it's a flex to just do the opposite of what men say or men say they want? What do you want? You're not even doing what you want. You're
Correct.
just doing the opposite of what men want.
Right, he might have actually liked Drake's music, but because everybody likes Drake's music, he put it in his head that he doesn't like Drake. Never gave it a chance.
If that's really the case and that's how you operate, men can literally manipulate you into doing certain shit because they know, just say this, and these dumb feminists will do the opposite. It's not the flex that you think it is. This idea that women sexualizing themselves is not for men and that only flies in the feminist space. We don't agree. We don't believe you. In your girly pop spaces, you guys can champion that nonsense. In real world, again, we just don't believe you. But notice how she didn't address what he also said in the video. He said the yah and calling yourself a young hoe. She never addressed that.
Calling yourself a young hoe. Don't be getting mad when a man calls you outside your name. You're degrading yourself.
She never addressed women calling themselves hoes.
Nope.
If you're calling yourself a hoe and then a man also calls you a hoe or treats you like a hoe, how can you have any sort of qualms with that? You can't. You literally can't. Again, average feminist, she's saying a bunch of buzzwords, misogyny, patriarchy, thinks that she's smarter than she is, but yeah.
Why is female promiscuity so frowned upon? Across almost every society, across time, across cultures, we see words like slut, whore, hoe, son of a bitch, bastard. Human civilizations independently arrived at the same judgment. It is obviously beyond social conditioning, and it's more rooted in biology and survival. At the core of it, it's pretty simple. Men and women do not have the same consequences for mating. A woman can get pregnant, which carries a massive biological, social, and economic cost. 9 months of pregnancy, childbirth risk, nursing. And a man could technically just walk away with no immediate burdens. Because of this, society's built systems like marriage, virginity expectations, and social judgments to stabilize family units, to know who the dad is, and protect the children to raise good citizens into their civilization. So before DNA testing, controlling the access to women was the only way men could to make sure they weren't raising another man's child, which is an evolutionary dead loss after pouring all those resources in. The stigma starts to make sense because promiscuity isn't just about a person's choice. It has downstream effects on family structure, the trust, and long-term stability in a relationship. There's a huge risk of spreading disease. Like, think about before medicine, how rampant it must have been. There's a greater chance of single-parent households, which consistently shows worse outcomes for children across multiple metrics. Like, poverty rates increase. There's poor performance in schools, higher behavioral issues, there's dropout risk, and crime. It signals that single moms, she is not really picking a committed father, which is an evolutionary downfall that used to be bred out before modernity and socialist programs. Now layer in the modern world, where technology has broken these original constraints that shaped those norms. There's dating apps, social media, OnlyFans, and algorithm-driven attention creating this mating market on steroids. Gathering attention in this hierarchy often flows through beauty and looks, throw in corn on top of that, and OnlyFans, and it's as if these lust demons are sucking the souls out of men.
It's like as if our forefathers and I don't even know what forefathers, like the cavemen and all of them and everybody learned all of this and figured it all out, and we just threw it all away.
Constantly tricking them with 10 out of 10 women that are pushed through these algorithms, and it pulls away from real partners or soulmates. Likes, comments, and DMs flood the modern woman's digital ecosystem. Even mid-tier girls gain insane access to men. You can get a glimpse of this through like Tinder stats. Men swipe right at almost 50% of profiles to cast a wide net. Women are super selective and only swipe right on just 10% of men. Women match around 40% of the time, which is 8.4 times more than the average guy, which is getting at 2% of matches. This creates a strange feedback loop. So female selectivity skyrockets while male behavior splits. Top tier men end up mating with a disproportionate number of women, and they're banging the mid-tiers and then ghosting them because it's an easy grab. That's why the promiscuous man is not frowned upon as much, because acquiring and seducing many women is difficult and signals status and competence. Other men high five to this. Notice how even other women will not congratulate each other for sleeping around. It's an inherent instinct. Women can easily have sex if they want to. They hold the power to select and shape our species by picking the top men. Men naturally do not want a wife who's been with many men. Studies show women with higher numbers of premarital sex partners, especially 9 to 10 plus, they face significantly elevated divorce risk. I mean, it disrupts the pair bonding. A woman with multiple partners is statistically more likely to cheat or leave, which then increases the odds of ruining the family unit. The men who do eventually commit to women with that much baggage down the line are usually lower value subordinates who know she holds power, so they get bossed around in the relationship. So when people say this is sexist or just a social construct and they scream we should all be sexually free, that reaction to me is just incomplete. I'm not saying wear a hijab, but it is crazy that every society develops some kind of lockdown on promiscuous women. These are instincts that have existed since we became civilized. We need paternity certainty. We need both parents investing in the survival of the child. Modern society has changed the game with birth control, welfare systems, abortions, and casual hookups. We're already seeing population falling in many places, rising loneliness. Social media and dopamine fast luxuries are eroding the sacred fabric of courting a woman and procreating the best human.
So here's the thing. I don't disagree with really anything this guy's saying. The problem that I have is this, and where it becomes sexist, in my opinion, is this. Men will go, oh yeah, female promiscuity, bad. But men sleeping with a lot of women is difficult, so that's okay. Show me your data.
They didn't say it was okay. It is also, we also talk about that men and women are different. P, stop it. You're trying to defend women wrongly on this. Biology dictates that men can do this and not have pair bonding issues just because we can go about and fuck plenty of women and still love a woman. Women cannot do the same thing. That's the problem. That's why men are praised for it, because it is a very difficult task, and men aren't really praised for it. They just see it as a difficult task. We're not all pumping men up saying, oh, he's a pimp, he's a pimp. Society is not doing that. Society is actually shaming a lot of men that sleep around now. So what are you talking about?
Show me the data where men sleeping with a bunch of women has a positive effect on society.
I can agree with that. Doesn't have a positive effect on society. Does not mean that it's not a difficult thing, and it is not seen as something that is praised because it's difficult. Remember, just because of the difficulty itself.
In the comments, let me know, link me some data. Because male promiscuity, when you look at pair bonding, all that shit, yeah, men can get away with sleeping with a little bit more people, but the effects are the same. So I have absolutely no problem calling out, female promiscuity. I think it's bad. So is male promiscuity though.
No, I've always called out male promiscuity. I tell men to not sleep around. See, this is the problem. Like, society isn't promoting men to sleep around. That's the thing. Women seem to promoting men to sleep around because they're sleeping with the few select men. This is just how society works, right? Just through hypergamy itself, men are going to be able to sleep with a whole bunch of women. Is it praise? No. Look at how medium men and regular men view Chads and Tyrones. We don't really praise Chads and Tyrones. We just call them, you just say Chads are going to Chad. That's it.
It's maybe not just as bad, like equally as bad, but it is bad.
I'll give you that.
There is no real
bad.
upside to men sleeping with a bunch of women. At the end, he mentions, it's difficult for men to sleep around, so men high-five each other over it. But yeah, it's difficult, but what's the positives? The men that sleep with the most women, especially the black community, are the worst men. They are literally the reason why the community is messed up.
But again, I don't think anybody's praising these people. I don't think we're all praising Chads and Tyrone, saying they're so wonderful men, I want to be just like them. My bad. Maybe a lot more people are wanting to be like them because more people are turning to dark berserkers. Yeah.
You got 4, 5, 6, 7 baby moms. And we're not supposed to criticize that? It's a bad thing. In reality, promiscuity is bad.
I'll give it to him. I'll give it to you on that one. I'll give it to you.
There's no but. There's no but this. There's no...
Sure. No, we can say promiscuity is bad, but we can also still state that it's worse for one than the other. That still makes both statements true.
It's just a bad thing. There's no real benefits to it.
I mean, I guess he's right. There is no real benefit for being promiscuous for either side. But you can see why one side gets praised for it than the other. Remember, just difficult things. Even if difficult things is a bad thing to do, it's just difficult, right? And it's hard for most of the population to achieve. Yeah, it usually gets praised even though it's a bad thing. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that, and catch you guys next time.